The first thing I saw in the darkness was my husband's shaking hands. The second thing was the basement door slamming shut from the outside. And the voice that followed froze my blood. It was my son saying, "Stay down there, Mom and Dad. Do not try to get out." I never thought a parent could fear their own child. But that night I did. My name is Elena and my life looked perfect from the outside. A loving husband named Mark. A teenage son named Liam. A small home full of memories. But behind the smiles we were drowning in tension. Liam had changed over the last year. Cold. Easily angry. Keeping secrets. Avoiding eye contact as if we were strangers. I tried to tell myself he was just growing up. But a mother knows when something darker is happening. One night I heard him whispering in the hallway. A soft, harsh voice. "No," I said, "I will handle them. They will not ruin this." I tried to step closer but the floorboard creaked. He instantly went silent. When I called his name he answered with a tone I had never heard. "Go to sleep, Mom." Deep. Almost mocking. That was the first time fear entered my chest. A few days later an envelope arrived. No return address. Inside was a single photo of Mark and me. Sleeping. Taken from inside our bedroom. The message on the back said, "Soon." My hands shook so badly I dropped it. Mark tried to stay strong, saying maybe it is a prank. But we both knew it was not. The night everything broke started quiet. Rain tapping on the windows. Thunder rumbling in the distance. I walked into the kitchen and saw Liam standing with his back to me. Perfectly still. Staring at the basement door. "Liam," I whispered. He turned slowly and smiled in a way that felt wrong. It was the kind of smile someone wears when they finally make a decision. "You should go down there, Mom." Just for a moment. Before I could ask why, he reached out and pushed us both toward the stairs. Mark grabbed my arm, but Liam was faster, stronger, and frighteningly calm. Once we landed on the basement floor, he shut the door. Then the lock clicked. Then the second lock. Then a metal latch we had never installed. That is when Mark whispered. "Quiet. I have a secret." Even with fear clawing at me, I looked at him. What secret could possibly matter right now? Mark knelt beside an old wooden cabinet. He opened a hidden panel behind it. Inside was a small metal box covered in dust. "We have to break this open," he said. "We do not have time." I stared at him. What is going on? Why would our son do this? He took a breath. Because someone is controlling him. And I never told you why. Inside the metal box was a leather notebook. Dark red with burned edges. Names. Dates. Symbols. And pages of notes that looked like they came from a private investigation. Mark said Liam is not just acting strange. He is being watched. Used. Manipulated. And I think it started when I uncovered something at work. My stomach dropped. Mark worked as an accountant for a private tech company. I never asked too many questions. I trusted him. But now trust felt like a luxury we no longer had. Mark continued. 6 months ago, I found financial records from a program that was never approved. They were testing psychological influence on minors. Selective conditioning. Behavioral manipulation. I reported it. But I think they found out. And Liam started changing right after that. I felt my throat tighten. So they are using our son. Against us. A loud thud shook the door above us. Then another. Then Liam's voice. "Mom, Dad, stop talking. You will make this harder." His tone sounded rehearsed. Not natural. As if someone else was speaking through him. Mark grabbed a hammer from the toolbox. "We need to get out before he comes. Down here." But the locks were solid. The hinges bolted in. The room felt smaller by the second. Then an idea hit me. Something simple. Something only a mother would think of. Liam always reacted to sound. Patterns. Rhythms. Ever since he was little, I would tap a soft 3-beat pattern on his shoulder when he had nightmares. Even on his worst days he responded to it. I knew because I tried it a few weeks earlier. His eyes softened for just 1 second. So I walked toward the door and tapped that old familiar rhythm. Silence. Deep, heavy silence. Then footsteps. Slow steps moving toward the door. I tapped again. 3 soft beats. Liam's voice cracked. Why are you doing that? Stop. I said, Liam, it is just me. Come downstairs. Please. Another long pause. Then the latch shifted. Very slightly. Mark leaned close and whispered. If he opens it even an inch, I can wedge the hammer and break the hinge. The latch clicked again. Not fully. But enough. Light leaked through a thin line at the edge. Mark moved fast. Hammer driving into the hinge. 1 hit. 2 hits. 3. Metal snapped. The door burst open. Liam staggered back. Eyes wide, confused, trembling. Behind him stood a man in a dark coat holding a small device with blinking lights. The man shouted, "Do not let them leave. Finish it." But Liam looked at me. Really looked at me. And for a moment I saw my son again. Not the cold stranger. Not the controlled weapon. My boy. I ran to him. Mark swung the hammer at the device in the man's hand. Sparks flew. The man cursed and lunged forward, but Liam grabbed his arm and shoved him down. The control was broken. Whatever grip they had on him loosened instantly. We ran. All 3 of us. Through the rain. Into the car. Mark drove until the house disappeared in the darkness. Later, authorities arrested members of the private tech group. The man in the basement cooperated. The evidence in Mark's hidden notebook exposed everything. Liam is still healing. We all are. Sometimes he wakes up shaking, saying he remembers voices telling him to hurt us. But every night I sit beside him, tap that old rhythm, and remind him he is safe. My husband still keeps secrets. But now they are the kind meant to protect, not hide. And sometimes he still whispers the line that saved us. Quiet. I have a secret. A secret that gave us our son back. The night our son locked us in the basement was the night we finally learned who was pulling the strings.